In this video, we're going to be looking at how to convert between percentages and fractions. So in our first set of examples, we are changing percents into fractions. So in order to do this, we need to take away the percent sign and then put the number over 100. Then reduce the fraction to simplest form. So our number here is 25%, so we take away the percent sign and we put 25 over 100. And we know that that reduces to 1/4. They're both divisible by 25 there, so 1/4 is the simplest form. For 15%, we drop the percent sign, we put 15 over 100. If we reduce this, they're both divisible by 5, so this would equal 3 over 20 in simplest form. In our next example, we have 37.5%. We drop the percent sign, put it over 100. And this is one of our ones that's divisible by 12.25, and that makes 3/8. So you might have just recognized that one from that list at the beginning. If not, we could have played around with some division there. In our last example, we have 150%. So we put 150, drop the percent sign, put this over 100. Now this is an improper fraction. They're both divisible by 50. So we can write it as 3/2, or the other way we could do this would be 1 1/2. So either one here would be a fraction that we could write this in. Now if you want to go the other way and change a fraction into a percentage, the best way to do this is to first convert the fraction into a decimal and then turn the decimal into a percent. This is probably just the easiest way to do this, because we can easily change a decimal into a percent, and we already know how to change a fraction into a decimal. So we're just using skills that we've already learned and combining them here. So for 5/9, we know if we forget how to do it, we can always do long division, but we remember that our 9s always make repeating decimals. So 9 into 50 is 5 times, and remember when we subtract this, we just get 5 left, so we're going to keep repeating that 5. So the decimal here is 0.5 repeating. So there would just be 5s continuously here. So if I have 0.55555 forever, I'm going to take my decimal and I'm going to move it 2 spaces to the right to turn this into a percentage. That means I made 55.5, but those 5s are going to keep going, so we have to remember to put the repeat bar over that 5 in the tens place. Add your percent sign because now it's in a percentage, and here's our final answer. In the next example, we have 3/10. So 3/10, remember, we could just remember, well, if I put 3 in the tens place, that makes 3/10. If you forgot, you could always use your long division. And then if we want to change 3/10 into a decimal or into a fraction, we move our decimal 2 spaces to the right. Here's our decimal point. Fill in that 0. So we made the number 30, and then we add our percent sign, and we're done. In this last example, we have 5/8. So this is one that's a little bit trickier to remember. So we can do our long division here. We'll add our decimal up top and our 0 to the right. 8 into 50 is 6 times. 6 times 8 is 48, so we subtract 48 from 50 and get 2. 8 into 20 is 2, and we subtract 16 from 20 and get 4. Bring down one more 0 here. 8 into 40 is 5 times. When we subtract 40 here, we are left with a remainder of 0, so this is a terminating decimal. So we know 5/8 equals 0.625, or 625 thousandths. To change this decimal into a percentage, move your decimal point 2 spaces to the right. That means we made 62.5%. So your steps for changing a fraction into a percent are to first change it into a decimal and then change that decimal into a percent, and use those skills that you've already learned in the previous videos.